Hi everyone, I'm Bita Delisi, and in this video we're going to talk about, can I change the locks if the tenant doesn't pay? Now, as a landlord, if you feel that the tenant doesn't pay the rent in full and on time, sometimes you think it's satisfying to change the locks until you are hit with a $1,000 at a minimum fine. So changing locks illegally without a landlord and tenant board order can actually cost a small landlord thousands out of pockets. So the answer to this question is no. Landlords cannot take the law into their hands and change locks without an order from the landlord and tenant board. It's actually a violation of the Residential Tenancies Act, the RTA, if a landlord illegally locks out a tenant. And illegal lockouts have very, very strong legal and financial consequences. We've experienced landlords being fined tens of thousands of dollars for illegally locking out a tenant, not including having been ordered by the board to allow the tenant to come back into the rental unit and freezing the landlord re-renting the unit to other tenants. Now, if you as a landlord have not been paid the rent or you have another legitimate cause to end a tenancy, what can you do? Well, you're going to have to find a reason to end the tenancy. You're going to have cause to evict. And if you have cause to evict, you have to serve the appropriate notice, fulfill the requirements of that notice, file an application with the landlord and tenant board, wait about 4 to 6 months to receive a notice of hearing. When you receive a notice of hearing, you're going to have to prepare to advocate your position at the landlord and tenant board. Because just because you receive a notice of hearing does not guarantee that, firstly, that your matter will be heard, and secondly, that you will receive an order to evict the tenant. Because anything can happen at the landlord and tenant board. You are not guaranteed an eviction order from the landlord and tenant board. However, if the board issues an order to evict, there usually has a termination date included in that order. Sometimes it does have a term in the order where you would have to take that order to the office of the sheriff and book a date and time for the sheriff. Depending on where the property is located, you're looking at a minimum of about 4 to 8 weeks, possibly longer, possibly less time. Again, this depends on the time of the sheriff in order to book an eviction. So landlords, if you want to evict a tenant, you're going to have cause to do so, and you're going to have to follow a legal proceeding, which can often take time and cost money. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions, always call us first.